There's nothing like the adrenaline rush of a sprint race. It's fast, with an invariably closely fought-out finish. 14 runners are set to fly down the Kenilworth Straight on Saturday in what looks to be a two-horse contest. Or is it?
Rio Karari all the way from Cape Town.
Equus champion sprinter and winner of the 4Racing computer form sprint, Rio Karari, had a prep run in a Pinnacle Stakes in December.
There's a big weight change with Real Gone Kid. I think we're 3 kilos better off, and quite frankly, it was a no race for Rio Karari last time. He found trouble. Unfortunately, it was a small field, and what they did was the guys added in horses so that we could keep the race, and we got stuck behind them. And when Grant looked up, Anton was gone. So it was just unfortunate. These things happen, and he got after him, and it was too late. So I think the weight turnaround will help a little bit, and I think you'll see here again, you'll see the full potential of what Rio Karari is about. He just banged his sesamoid, so it's like literally banging your elbow. Prior to his race, I got him right, but I didn't want to take the chance. He's just such a beautiful animal. We didn't need to go out and win a Pinnacle plate, so we'll have him stripped and ready for the big day. And I can tell you now, you can expect a massive run from this horse.
Real Gone Kid, though, is finding extra.
The Australian-bred colt Real Gone Kid is 6th from 10. He's won his last 4 in a row.
He stays on to win.
Well, obviously, Michelle, Ridgemont have been big investors in the game, and obviously they've got a breeding operation overseas, which they bought the mare. She was a Group 1 winning mare, Jetmaster mare. And once they bought her, they sent her to Australia to be covered by Snitzel, who's, as we all know, is probably one of the most prolific stallions that Australia's had in a long time. So anyway, he's the progeny, and then obviously they brought him back as a yearling into South Africa so that we could race him. And now he basically stands a week away from probably one of the biggest races in his life and one of the biggest in our operation. And obviously the aim is to get some bold black type for him, and I think that would help seal his box as a stallion in the future.
Yeah, super impressive.
I've been so pleased with his preparation leading into this race. He hasn't put a foot wrong. He's done everything asked of him, and he's in a really good space at the moment. So, we've only got a week to go, but at the moment I'm exceptionally pleased. I couldn't be happier, and I think he's going to be a massive run on the day.
Captain Fontane, the last time.
Originally bought by David Ferraris for Hong Kong, the smart son of Captain L, Captain Fontane, has remained in South Africa in the care of Garth Puller.
He had a very good run in the Merchants. He was very unlucky. He sat close up on the pace, which is not really the way he runs. And the front horse started to weaken, and he moved out, and he struck the front like he was going to win it, and all of a sudden he found a divot or a bad stride, and he actually pecked badly. I've got a fright, and it broke his momentum, and he ran third, but it was a credible third. He was only a 4-time winner, so he was in the deep end a little bit. And he suffered a little bit of heat in his joint, and had to work on that. We ran him in the green point after that, and I think it was just one horse too much at that stage. Not that I don't think he'll get the distance, I still think he probably will, but a young horse, and it was just too much for him. And a second run after a break. His joint is now recovered, he's doing well, he's looking good, his work is good. Yeah, we're happy with him. We'd have loved a 1200, but I think he's capable in 1,000. I know they'll go fast. The race is very competitive, but he's the kind of horse that can come from a few lengths back, and he showed me the ability that he could be up there with the big boys. He's not well in at the weights, but I'm sure he'll give a good account of himself.
Casimir has come from nowhere on the extreme inside.
Multiple graded stakes winner over the sprint distances is the evergreen Kasimir.
He wasn't far back last time. 1,000 is too short, I'm not going to lie. 1,000 meters is on the short side. But I've managed to patch him up and Bernard Fadeherb. I've patched them all up. I've mended them together as best I can. So I think amazingly I might have got it right for him to run. I think he's going to run to his potential. Whether he's good enough to beat a horse like Rio Karari, who's in the prime of his career, may be quite a big ask. But if you're playing a little wide, do not leave him out.
It's Hello Winter, Hello, a video true to life.
The 7-time and group-placed mare is Hello Winter, Hello.
They just got it under control and going to win by about a length in the end.
She's a very nice filly. She's obviously, I think, one of the better fillies in the race. She does get a 2.5 kilo allowance. She's got draw 7. And I think the race will plan out nicely for her. She's got a nice lead in the likes of Real Gone Kid. So if she gives her a natural kick, I think she'll be a big runner. I know it's a very competitive field, but I do think she's one of the better fillies around.
Bereave between runners is right there.
A horse on the up is Bereave, having turned in a credible second to Vikram in the Grade 2 Merchants before winning the listed Southeaster Sprint a month later.
Bereave an easy win in the end from
Adam has given me the thumbs up that Bereave has taken his last run really well, which is promising. I feel he could probably be the dark horse in the race. He's obviously still on the up and still improving, and with his last win I thought it was quite convincing. Obviously first time the 5 furlong, which is always a question mark, and it's not an easy test ahead. We've got the likes of Real Gone Kid and Rio Karari who are top sprinters, so look, we'll be out there trying, and things look to go Bereave's way, so we're not going down without a fight, and we're hoping to put up a big performance.
True to Life in front, a 2-length leader. Anna Capri second, Bold Ransom third. They're running
True to Life is the stable companion to Hello Winter, Hello from the yard of Johan Janse van Vuren.
But True to Life in command, and a good taking victory from True to Life.
Look, she's a filly with oodles of ability. It's well documented she has ability, and yeah, she's drawn 2, which is not really a problem down the straight. She hasn't quite lived up to her form this season, but her last run was very encouraging where she ran second to Hello Winter, Hello. So hoping for a big run from her. Not easy, she's travelling down to Cape Town, but yeah, we're hoping for a first full finish with her.
Sound of warning comes right up to it.
Winner of the Grade 3 Magnolia Handicap in her last official start is the only 3-year-old filly in the race, Sound of Warning.
Sound of Warning goes for the Cape Flying. It was not our initial plan, obviously a plan B after the fiasco of what should have been a false start in the Scepter. However, she is doing really well. It's an ultra tough field. She is a little bit under pressure at the weights, even though she carries 54. She gets her sex allowance and her age allowance, but she is still a little under sufferance. I'm happy with the draw. Richard Ferree's riding her. I'm very happy to have him on. He's done a lot of work with the filly. Yeah, once again, tough race, good preparation, hoping for the best.
Pleased to meet you.
4-time winner Pleased to Meet You has finished close up in his last 2 feature race outings.
Yes, he's been a really consistent horse just about his whole career. If you keep in mind, I think he won on debut and he broke his maiden and got to a rating of 94. And soon after that, they raised it 10 pounds. So he's effectively run within a bracket of about 2-3 pounds his whole career, and he's a 6-year-old now. He's been running in feature races. He's won some minor feature races, but taking on Group 1 horses is always just a little bit tricky for him. But it is a Group 1 and he's 6 years old, so we'll have a go.
Mr. Cobbs doing all he can up the outside, but
Mr. Cobbs is a solid sort who now steps up in class.
Mr. Cobbs second, Kasimir never.
Mr. Cobbs he's a very consistent horse. He's a very specific type of horse. 1,000 meters is his best trip. I don't think he goes much over 1,000 meters. And he's got to be ridden a certain type of way, and so he's not the easiest of horses, but he's been a consistent little horse. It was a good run from him last time out. Wasn't a very big field in saying that, so I think it's going to be a different story on Saturday. I've really thrown him in the deep end here, but you know, as I say, he doesn't get more than 1,000 meters, so he might as well have a crack at it and see how it goes. I think he's a little bit in the deep end, and I think he's going to have to pick up his feet a little bit to beat some of these horses over the 1,000 meters.
It's still Bohica, further back to battle.
Bohica travels down from Gauteng for this race.
Bohica won.
Hi Michelle, yeah, Bohica just travelled down from Joburg to the Cape. It seems that he's travelled quite well. Been on his main year, and he's looking quite good. He looks like he's well hydrated. He drank well down on the way from Joburg. So the race itself looks to be quite a competitive race, but our horse is in a good space and we're happy with his preparation coming into this race. Simanga and him get on very well, and we think that he'll give a good account of himself.
But in front is Stranger Danger, going great guns out here, has gone 4 or 5 lengths clear.
The first of 2 Port Elizabeth Raiders is the 6-time winner, Stranger Danger.
Yeah, Michelle, Stranger Danger, a lovely little horse. He hasn't put a foot wrong down here. Obviously, in Cape Town now, taking a step up in class, taking on very good sprinters. But without a ticket, you haven't got a chance, and the owners, it's lovely for them to have a runner on a day like this, and he's very well in himself. And we see what he's made of. It's a quality field. Louis has ridden in class before. I think he's had a win on him in a second, so he knows what he's about, and he just got to hold thumbs.
Viking Moon knuckles down.
The second of the Eastern Cape Raiders is the consistent Viking Moon.
Viking Moon wins and got stronger.
He's done pretty well here in the Eastern Cape, and I think he deserves a chance at a race like this. It is a graded race, and if you don't try, you won't know. It's extremely competitive, and I think he's got to take his chances. He's looking well, working well, and keen to see how he goes.
African Raiders now going down the inside.
Completing the field and drawn in pole position is the 3-year-old gelding, African Rain.
African Rain.
I've got African Rain as well. Also, I think a big ask for him as well. I wasn't sure, wasn't really 100% sure whether I wanted to run him here or not. There wasn't much else for him or anything else really that I could run him in, so I thought we'd take our chances. He's also a tricky horse. He's not the easiest of horses to train. He's got 2 gears. It's fast or slow, one or the other. There's no in-betweens with him, so he's not the easiest of horses to prepare like you would like to prepare for a race. It's a little bit of guesswork here and there, or a hit and miss, should I say. But he's the kind of horse I think that he's either keen in a race or, his penultimate start, he switched off so nicely running against older horses over the 1,000 because they went, a good pace, and he was able to switch off. And I think it'll be the same story for him on Saturday, I'm hoping. And if he can switch off and run on, look, as I say, it's tough for him, but I'd like to see where he fits in, and if not, we can go back and start over with him again. But my 2 are long shots, I think, but both fitting well and hopefuls.
It's the best sprint race in South Africa. It should be called the fastest. I know we call it the Cape Flying Championship, but it should be Africa's Flying Championship. It always is. The time they run, the quality of the field, weight for age, 1,000 meters, no excuses. It's the pinnacle of the sprint race in South Africa.